Amanda Bowie's son Michael used to love going to school, but she says he was dragged through the classroom by his teacher. Now he's reluctant to go back.
I was absolutely horrified.
And she dragged me to the front of the room.
So she went like this.
But in some circumstances, there is no option but to use physical contact.
My issue is, why did you do it?
How come you haven't been able to tell the parent about what happened?
No comment, I can't.
There's a lot more pressures on teachers these days than there ever has been.
We know teachers have a tough job, but is it ever okay to manhandle one of their students? It's become a hot topic yet again after a 9-year-old boy here at this school was allegedly dragged through the classroom.
Amanda Bowie says getting son Michael ready for school used to be a lot easier.
Every morning I've got to argue with him just to get him out of bed, get him dressed. Before all of this, he used to be the first one out of bed, dressed, lunch. Yep, let's mum, go, go.
She says his outlook changed dramatically after being dragged through the classroom by his teacher.
That's absolutely wrong, horrendous. It's like she wouldn't want that done to her child, so why does she feel the need to do it to mine?
She's even more angry the school has provided almost no information to her about exactly what happened.
How did you find out about this incident?
One of Michael's classroom students come running up to me the afternoon saying that the teacher had dragged him from the back of the classroom to the front of the classroom by the scruff of his neck.
Michael initially wouldn't talk about it, but is now comfortable explaining that it started after he was laughing at a classmate.
He was putting faces and making me laugh. So Miss turned around and said, "Move to the front of the room."
He says he repeatedly refused to move, pushing out his chair and sitting on the floor.
And she kept asking me and I kept refusing. Then she decided to come round the back and she dragged me to the front of the room.
And how did that make you feel when she dragged you?
Angry.
I know some kids are little pains. I can tell you Michael is a pain at times, but he didn't deserve that. If they're doing something wrong or they're hurting another student, yep, fair enough, that's called for. But when they're just sitting there saying no to moving, that's not warranted.
The question of whether physical contact is okay from teachers erupted earlier this year when a Melbourne principal was filmed dragging a 9-year-old boy across the playground. He was suspended, but after apologising to the school community, was reinstated 2 months later amid widespread community support.
I mean, I think this is a really stark reminder that everyone has their limit, and teachers are no different to the rest of us.
Psychologist Susan DeCampo says while many of us believe schools have gone too soft, the days of physical contact should be gone.
I don't think any parent would think that it's ever acceptable for physical force to be used on a child.
We at all times encourage teachers to avoid physical contact.
Kevin Bates is the president of the Queensland Teachers Union and says while physical contact is discouraged, it is still legally allowed.
The law as it applies allows for reasonable force to be applied. Now, reasonableness, of course, is one of those rather difficult concepts where it's not always clear and all of the circumstances have to be taken into account when making a judgment.
Amanda Bowie is most concerned that Brisbane's Oxley State School hasn't explained any of the circumstances as to why a teacher made the decision to drag her son. The principal sent her a letter saying the complaint was substantiated, but not much else.
I can assure you that these matters have been dealt with in accordance with the appropriate departmental procedures. I ask that you respect the confidentiality of this process.
Very frustrating because my child is involved in the incident. I need to know why she did it.
Is there anything you can tell us about the incident?
No, I can't. Sorry, I can't, no.
Why
Obviously,
not?
I can't.
Principal Wendy Neal approached us when we were filming outside the school.
How come you haven't been able to tell the parent about what happened?
No comment, I can't.
Do you think it's appropriate that they didn't get any information?
They did get information, they got a letter.
The letter advised any further request for details would have to be made under a complicated Freedom of Information request.
Let me read the incident report that's been put in the school office, I'm happy.
It's not much to ask, is it?
No, that's all I'm asking.
Well, I don't want to go to school at all.
You don't want to.
School's supposed to be a fun, happy place, and knowing he's changed, it's upsetting.
The Queensland Education Department wouldn't comment on this incident due to confidentiality, but says it treats all allegations of harm to students extremely seriously. The full statement is on our homepage.